Yo, what's up, fam? This is your boy Miller, and I recently watched the new Chris Rock Netflix comedy special. I think it's called Selective Outrage. And there's a lot of conversation about his response to the Will Smith slap in the Oscars last year, which I honestly think is super sad because the best part of that special had nothing to do with Will Smith. It actually was a story that I think every parent needs to hear and pay attention to. He shared this story about his two daughters, and specifically, I want to say maybe his oldest daughter. And he talks about the luxury and the entitlement that his children exist in based off the life he's been able to provide due to his success. He told the story that once while his daughter was in high school, that his daughter went on a high school trip to some place. I don't even remember where they said he went, but some international trip they went. And while on this trip, his daughter, along with several of her friends, decided to sneak out of the room past curfew, go out and get drunk. Of course, they got caught, and the school moved forward with suspending all the children who were involved. This is when the story gets good, because Chris Rock admits that because this was an affluent school and these were rich kids with rich parents, all the parents, instead of allowing the school to issue out the consequence due to the behavior that their kid clearly did, they all decided to get lawyers and turn around and try to sue the school. As this process is going on, Chris Rock says that his daughter and her friends were all at his house, I guess behind the house in the pool. And they sipping drinks, lounging in the sun, having a good old time. And Chris was addressing them like, hey, aren't y'all supposed to be in trouble? His daughter says, oh, Dad, you're doing too much. We gonna get off about this situation and we'll be back in school in no time. And Chris stated that just her smug attitude, the entitlement that she was just wallowing in, pissed him off as a parent. So he decided to go to the school, talk to the principal, and beg the principal to suspend my child. Because he knew that it was very important to not defend his kid in her wrongdoing, but that it was more important that she learned that she has to take responsibility and be held accountable to the things that she did. And the school did just that by suspending his daughter. Now, here's the lesson. So many parents get so caught up in being their child's defense attorney, not realizing that they're actually causing more harm to their kid than good. We have so many parents that are way more concerned with their own comfort than they are with being in conflict with their kid. I see a lot of parents who you can obviously tell that it feels better, that it makes them look better to be defending their child versus fighting their child. But then these same parents will turn around and make this crazy statement. These kids these days are so disrespectful. They so wild. Well, I heard a gentleman spoke to this earlier on this platform that made so much sense. We can't have a conversation about how bad and how disrespectful and how wild kids are today until we're ready to have a conversation about how weak adults are today, because it's tough being a parent. It is hard standing 10 toes down and looking your child in the face, a child that's bigger than you, and tell them, no, you can't go. No, you can't have it. Yes, I'm taking the hinges off the door. No, I'm not siding with you just because you're my kid in your wrongdoing. Whatever consequence this school issuing you, I'm going to support them 100% because I need to make sure that we all apply the appropriate pressure to change the behavior we want you to stop doing. Sometimes I think parents just feel like it is just a whole lot easier to fight for your kid than actually be fighting your kid. But look, as a parent, you got to get real comfortable with not being your child's friend. You got to be very comfortable with your kid not liking you sometimes and say, this is what it's going to be, whether you like it or not. Knowing that what you are doing is applying the appropriate amount of pressure to change the behavior you're trying to change so that your kid could benefit from those changes later on in life. Him as a celebrity, he could have easily went on with the fact that I don't want to be embarrassed that Chris Rock's daughter is out here doing something bad. And that's the existence and that's the experience of a lot of parents. We take everything our kids do so personally. But listen, mom, listen, dad, when that school call you telling you that your kid did something, we're not attacking you or your parenting skills. Because we know, just like you know, that parents are not the only influence in a kid's life. You can be a great parent. You could be a perfect parent. Hell, you could be Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable. Fantastic, affluent, very mature, and very great parents, and still be raising a crazy Vanessa that has no problem with taking her friends, going down to Baltimore to have big fun with the wretched. We got to stop personalizing everything our kids do. Our kids are going to make mistakes. That's why they're kids. And teachers, we got to stop giving our parents such a hard time. Look, parents are doing the best they can, but most parents are not professionals when it comes to kids. All of them don't know what they're doing. That's why it's important for us to be building a village and having conversations we need to be having with each other. But when you got the teachers judging the parent, now you got the parent defending themselves, defending their parenting, and now defending a kid that's in the wrong, the child is the one that suffers. So the next time you find your kid in some hot water, don't be so quick to bail them out. Sometimes they need to sit in some stuff. Sometimes they need that hard lesson to be better. And us as parents are negating the change that our kid need to experience because we don't want them to go through nothing. Let your kids sink or swim. They'll be okay. Look, make sure you build your village.